What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is the Ash Said It Show. Over 2,000 episodes since 2014, 500,000 streams around the world. None of this is possible without you guys, so thank you for the shares, the cares. It makes a huge difference. Today, we are speaking with founder and CEO of Thriae, the wonderful Mel. Hey, Mel.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mel. Now, Mel, where are you from? Where do you represent?
Well, I am a little bit of a mishmash, to tell you the truth. I am, yeah, exactly. These days, everybody is. I am half American. My dad was in the Army, and he's from Savannah, Georgia. And my mother is from Ankara, Turkey, so, I'll say both. And so I'm half Turkish, half American. I grew up in Izmir, Turkey, which is on the Aegean coast on the west coast of Turkey. See? Turkey.
Yes.
And, and I spent a little time here and there in the United States growing up, but I came to Washington, D.C. for university, and I just kind of stayed. I never left.
Yeah, so we got you, and you're here, and you're making all dreams come to life. So what was the motivating force behind this company?
I can never sit still, and I have a full-time job, but I wanted to do something creative. I used to have a portrait studio, a photographer as well, as I said, creative, but it took too much time away from the home. So I thought an e-commerce business would be a nice idea because I had young boys at the time.
Yeah.
Now they're older. So I started Thriae. It was a consciously curated marketplace, and I was sourcing items, gift items that I would want to give to people, just as things that I would want to spend money on and invest in from small businesses, especially women-owned businesses.
Yeah.
And then I started sourcing Turkish towels, which is something that I grew up with, and they're called peshtemals in Turkish. And then once I sourced them, I thought, this is crazy. Like, I can go straight to the manufacturer. I can still call on my Turkish roots. I'm fluent in Turkish. I still have connections in Turkey. My mother lives there. I'm there often. It's silly for me to source them from, a wholesale perspective when I could actually manufacture them myself. So that's kind of what happened. And it's just one of those things where I grew up sort of caught between the United States and Turkey in terms of culture. I never quite fit in anywhere. So when I was growing up in Turkey, I didn't feel quite like I belonged there. But when I was in the States, I didn't feel quite like I belonged here. And I always wanted to sort of figure out a way to tie everything together. And this just felt so right, bringing the richness of the culture of Turkey, but especially the textile looming.
Yeah.
And it is and it's a industry that really is, it touches on so many different aspects of artisanship. So you've got the artisans that are full-on hand loomers, and then you go all the way up to larger manufacturers. So there's something for everyone, and it employs a lot of people, and it really does, especially on the artisan side, empower women. And that's really what I wanted to support.
Now, in this new journey as an entrepreneur, you've got your business going on. What was something that maybe popped up that surprised you? Something that you did not anticipate when starting this company?
Getting the visibility in the sea of all of the other businesses out there that have something similar. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
It is.
You're scrolling on your Instagram or TikTok and you're seeing ads and you're finding things that are interesting to you and you're going, oh, I want that. You're clicking on it. I thought it would be just as easy to form a business and run those ads and reach people such as yourself who are interested in sort of this cultural journey and an interesting piece of art, basically, that you can use in your daily life. And And I thought, oh, people will want that immediately. But it hasn't been quite that way. We're still on that journey.
Yeah, and I think that you guys are getting more and more visibility, especially as you are able to touch so many. Social media it's a beast, you know, and I've discovered so many brands, much like yourself, just through social media and just being exposed to it. So I think that you guys are definitely on the right track. But as time has gone on and you've manufactured the product, you've got it out to people, and it's slowly but surely it's spreading out to the world, and everyone is being aware of it. What would you say has been your proudest moment with the brand?
Oh, well, it's actually when someone such as yourself, who has had a chance to look at the quality
Yes.
Of the peshtemals, when you see it, when you feel it, and you've said to me, this is amazing.
Yes.
I love it. That gives me so much pride. The Pagos, especially that design, which is the one that you have,
yes,
is a design that I drew myself. I'm not an artist, really.
Yes, but it's so beautiful.
But thank you. It kind of occurred to me, and I know that this is folks are listening, but so it's hard to know what I'm talking about. But it is essentially this very sort of rough hand drawn design. It's got sort of almost like a mud clothy sort of vibe to it. It's got a boho vibe to it. I spent hours trying to pick out the colors. I mean, if only you knew how much work went into this.
Yes,
and that was just on my side. And then determining sort of the loom and the weight and everything. I put a lot into that design.
Yes.
And to have someone whose style, quite frankly, I admire, because I did cyberstalk you a little bit,
thank you.
tell me that they love it, and really love the design and love the color and the weight and the feel of it, that gives me pride. Because it's worth all of that effort to just hear you say that. So thank you.
Yes, no, absolutely. And I'm a person that visually I like things and I like the way that things look. But with this towel, is the craftsmanship of it is remarkable. Like, this is not something that I can just go to, Wally World or something and just pick up. Like, it feels like it was like wrapped in love or something. I don't know. But I was very impressed with it. So I definitely...
Thank you. Well, and it's funny that you say wrapped in love. I have a lot of writing on my website. I love to sort of write out my feelings about the topic. And one of the things that I've touched on is how I feel that these particular products convey a certain level of energy. I think they convey a level of energy of the love and the craftsmanship that have been input. So it's not just the design, but it's the cotton that's woven into thread. The thread is then dyed, and they're put on looms on these giant spools of thread, and then they're, mounted on these looms. It's a process, and there's so many hands on it. And then you've got your quality control and your inspections and the lovely people who are rolling them into these beautiful rolls and putting a little band around them just for presentation. This is all a labor of love, and it's not just my hands and my brain. It's everybody's efforts that have gone into it, and I just love that you said that it comes across.
It does.
And it's just,
it's original. It's original. I've never seen or felt anything like it in my life, and I've had tons of throws and blankets throughout the years. But this one in particular, I'm going to make sure my sister doesn't see it, because she's not getting it, okay? I'm keeping this one. This is mine.
We have more. We have more.
Okay, I can get her one. Okay.
All sorts of colors and all sorts of textures. And that's the beautiful thing about peshtemals towels. There are tons of different looms and weights and textures and things like that. And it's a thousands of year old sort of method of looming, and it's just been perfected throughout the centuries. So you'll find something that appeals to everyone.
Okay. All right, we like that. That's definitely feeling good. Now, what is the next phase of Thriae? What do you feel is going to be the next phase of things?
Yeah. So we just, about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, announced the launch of our handmade collection. It's almost like a sub-brand. It's called Thriae Handmade, because I'm clearly original in how I name things. And I was just in Turkey in October. I went to see my mom. Aww. And I went to Buldan, which is a village where they say sort of the textile business began in Anatolia, which is near Denizli, where the larger manufacturers are. It's the Energean region. Mm-hmm. And there I met with a young man who owns an atelier. He's a third-generation textile professional, and he owns this small atelier, and his foreman, for lack of a better word, the master weaver, is Nezal Teyze, which means Auntie Nezal. She has been doing this for pretty much her whole life. What they produce is so spectacular. So we are doing some limited runs, and we have 4 styles on our website now of this collection. We only have a limited number of colors and styles for each thing that we do, each style that we do. Mm-hmm. And some are fully handmade and some are shuttle loom made, which are still a very labor-intensive process, but a little bit more automated than a full hand loom. And that's kind of what I'm really trying to lean into is those handmade items that are not going to be seen all over the place and that have a unique quality to them. Mm-hmm. So that's really what I'll be pursuing more so. I feel like that's probably the best representative of sort of the vibe of the brand. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, last but certainly not least, what advice would you offer to an aspiring entrepreneur? To somebody new that's like they've got this idea, it may be out the box. What would you tell them?
Number one, I would say don't spend all your money on people who claim they can help. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in a rude way. I have spent more than I care to ever admit on mentors and experts and ad agencies and everything. And when it comes down to it, I think that you need to follow your instincts and do what feels right to you while remaining true to sort of the authenticity of being a small business. You don't need to become exponentially successful overnight. I guess that's part 2 of what I want to say. Mm-hmm. It is, my husband always says, it is a marathon and not a sprint. He says, Melissa, because he never calls me Mel, he calls me Melissa. He says, Melissa, you need to be patient. And that is not something that I am good at. So I am saying this to a new entrepreneur as much as I'm saying this to myself. Be patient. Remember, every failure will maybe feel like a step back, but then you'll take 2 steps forward. So that's my best advice that I need to follow myself.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Mel, thank you so much for coming through tonight. We certainly appreciate you. And
thanks for having me.
Yes, and we see such great things for Thriae, 25 and beyond. So don't think this is just a one and done. I definitely would love for you to come back and share whatever new announcements. I know the new year is going to bring so much newness and things that maybe we couldn't talk about today. But when announcements are ready, I definitely would love for you to come back.
I would love to. I'd love to be on any time you'll have me.
Absolutely. And let everyone know the best way to reach Thriae, to get their towels, to get everything, and to keep up with what's going on with you guys next.
Sure. Our website is shopthriae.com. It's SHOPTHRIAE.com. And at Shop Thriae on pretty much all the socials that you can imagine, TikTok, Instagram. So we are everywhere, and we are running a 30% off sale through the end of the year. If you want to get any gifts or anything like that, have a look. We'd love to supply you with some unique, beautiful gifts.
Sounds like the plan. Well, more success. I see it coming. You're going to have big announcements very soon, and we'd love to have you back and to talk about it. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the movement, which is Ash Said It. And keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.